Hi all, we're going to talk about the classifications of plants and animals today. So to get started, we're going to start with a little warm up of naming three things that all animals have in common. Go ahead and pause your computer and write down three things that you think all animals have in common. Okay, so first thing all animals have in common are all animals are living things. The second thing is animals cannot make their own food. And third, animals can move on their own during parts or all of their lives. Animals are broken up into vertebrates and invertebrates. So we have our vertebrates that are animals with backbones that surround the spinal cord. And we also have invertebrates, which are animals that do not have backbones. As you can see in the pictures, the animals with backbones and the animals without backbones, they're very different. Vertebrates with the backbones, humans, we have backbones. So if you take your hand and touch your spine in the back, you can feel the spine that makes us a vertebrate. Same with all of these animals pictured. Invertebrates do not have any backbones. So take the butterfly, for instance, or the clamshell. They have no main bone in their spinal cord, same as jellyfish. No spine, no place in their body where you can just feel a spine down and through their bodies. All right, so then we have mammals. There are many characteristics of mammals. So for something to be a mammal, it must have hair or fur. It must be warm-blooded. They must breathe by using their lungs. They feed their young and produce milk. And they have live birth. So can you think of an animal not pictured that has all of these characteristics? If you named an animal such as a cow or a giraffe, you are correct. Humans are also considered mammals. We have hair, we are warm-blooded, we use our lungs to breathe, mothers produce milk for their young, and we have live births. So humans are considered mammals. Characteristics of reptiles. So reptiles are different from mammals. As you can see in the pictures on around the screen, you can kind of have an idea of what a reptile is. Their body covering is mainly scales. They are cold-blooded and they breathe using their lungs. They do not feed their young and mostly lay eggs. Does not mean all reptiles lay eggs, but most lay eggs. All right, for something to be characterized as a bird, they must have feathers, they are warm-blooded, they breathe using lungs, they do feed their young, and they lay hard-shelled eggs. Birds only lay eggs. For something to be considered a fish, its body covering is usually scales, its temperature is cold-blooded, they breathe using gills. Fish do not breathe through lungs, they use their gills. So that is one of the main differences between a fish and other animals. They do not feed their young, and they lay soft jelly-coated eggs at the bottom of the ocean floor. Amphibians. Amphibians are similar to reptiles if you're looking at the pictures, but there are differences. They're soft skin, they're cold-blooded, they use their gills, lung, or skin to breathe. So as we saw with let me come all the way back, reptiles, they only used their lungs. If it's a reptile, they only have lungs to breathe. But if it is an amphibian, they can use gills, lungs, or skin to be able to breathe. They do not feed their young, and they lay their eggs in water. Here's comparing an eagle and an alligator together. Take a moment, pause your computer, and number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 down the side, and see if you can determine where each of these comparisons go. If it's an eagle, it will go under the eagle column. If it's an alligator, it will go under the alligator column. And if there's something they have in common, it will go in the middle. Again, please pause your computer and see if you can get the correct answers. So hopefully you were able to see that they had done some of this for you. The body covering was feathers. The body temperature, warm-blooded, cold-blooded. And do they feed their young? They feed their young. They do not feed their young. So the similarities between the eagle and the alligator were they both breathe with lungs, they both lay eggs, and they are both vertebrates. Vertebrates meaning they have a spine. Invertebrates are arthropods. Invertebrates that have segmented body, a hard exoskeleton, and jointed appendages of legs and antennas. So all that to say, a crustacean, a lobster, is called an arthropods. It is an invertebrate that has a segmented body. It has hard shell, hard exoskeleton, jointed appendages of legs and antennas. So here's the antenna, and jointed just means both, has both. So here's the here's the antenna and the appendages of legs and arms, his little clappers. Same thing with many insects. They too have a hard exoskeleton. They have the jointed appendages of legs and antennas. So here are little bee's legs and the antennas. And same with the scorpion. Invertebrates that are also annelids, they have bodies that are divided into segments. So worms, you can see the different parts of the worm's body. We have the Bristol worm and a leech. So their bodies are divided into different segments or different parts that are together. Invertebrates that are also echinoderms. Echinoderms live in the ocean and have arms or spines that radiate from the center of their bodies. So we have the sea star, and they have arms or spines that radiate from the center. So here's the center, and then here's the little sea star's arms. A sea anemone and sea urchins. Notice they all have things coming off from the center of their body. Invertebrates that are also mollusks. Mollusks have organs that are covered by hard outer shells. Some mollusks live on land while others live in water. So a snail has the hard outer shell. The octopus has the hard center body. And the slug is also very hard, but yes, slimy. They may look squishy and soft, but they are having hard, their organs are covered by a hard outer shell. So all of their organs are inside of that shell, that outer shell. Doesn't physically mean that they have to have a physical shell on their body. When you have finished this PowerPoint, please go to the Brain Pop YouTube video for a better understanding of invertebrates and vertebrates. Thank you.